ChatGPT, the first non-human to enter Nature's list of the top 10 people who shaped science. From its launch back in 2022, ChatGPT has shown a massive growth rate. So much so that in January 2023, it was labeled as the fastest growing consumer software application in history, with over 200 million weekly users in just 2 months. These stats clearly demonstrate that ChatGPT is going to become a tool that many rely on in the near future. But its real breakthrough is its ability to assist with different topics and technologies, such as AWS. But how does that work? How can ChatGPT act like a personal tutor? Well, that's exactly what we'll be covering in this video. I'll take you step by step through the process of using ChatGPT to learn AWS. You can find the prompts that I'll be using in this video on my GitHub. Link will be given in the description down below. But before we start, if you want more such content, then make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss out on any updates from us. AWS has over 200 services, so naturally, you don't need to master every single one of them. Instead, we only need to study the AWS services which are used frequently. Let's ask ChatGPT about it. Also, the best way to learn is by doing. So instead of just asking for theoretical explanations, let's create a mini project using these services so that you can get comfortable with them. So now let's start making our mini project with AWS. So for that, obviously we'll need a prompt. You can go to my GitHub page over here and click on prompts. And there are 3 different prompts that you can see here. We'll take the first prompt and we'll read it while I paste it here. Now, assume as though I'm completely new to AWS, so could you provide the list of the basic AWS services that I can start with as a beginner? Also, can you let me know the projects that I can build using these services from the basic ideas to advanced ones? So now what I'm asking ChatGPT to do is, like I said before, there are a lot of AWS services, so you don't need to know all of them. If you're a beginner, then obviously there are some basic services that you must know of, such as your EC2 is there, S3 is there, RDS is there. So you need to know about these services. So that's what I'm asking ChatGPT to list me out the basic services. Then we'll use these basic services to create a very simple, very mini project. Now, depending on your expertise, you can either create a beginner project or you can just directly jump onto the advanced projects. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. Okay. Absolutely. AWS is a vast ecosystem, but as a beginner, you should start with the core services that will give you a solid foundation. Here's my starter pack. So I have EC2, S3, IAM, RDS, DynamoDB, Lambda, CloudFront, SNS, SQS. That's already a lot. CloudFormation, CloudWatch, VPC, Route 53, Elastic Beanstalk, and autoscaling. So there are 15 services that AWS has listed out for me, which as a beginner I should be aware about. So the projects that I get to build, now obviously you have 2 options here. Either you can start copying them one by one, paste it on YouTube or on any other online education platform and try to learn them one by one. Or if you get a hands-on project, if you actually apply these services, you would understand how they work. And this will help these services stay in your mind for a long time as compared to just going through the documentation or reading a couple of bunch of theories or definitions about these services. Now let's look at the mini projects that we have. We can make a static website hosting, which is very simple using S3 and CloudFront. You can make a personal blog. You can make a simple file storage and sharing app using S3 and IAM. Or you can make a basic serverless function that responds with hello world when triggered via API gateway. You can make a monitoring dashboard with set up an alarm that triggers an SNS notification when an EC2 instance goes down. Okay. Then we have intermediate projects, which is more complicated, using a URL shortener, Lambda, DynamoDB API gateway, image processing, chat application, serverless, to-do, multi-tier web app. Okay, let's do one thing. If you're not an absolute beginner, if you have some basic idea about AWS, then I would recommend you to select any of these projects. Don't directly jump to the advanced projects until you have a solid base of knowledge. But if you're just starting out but you have a basic understanding of cloud, then it will be better to integrate databases with it, because if you have done programming in any particular language before, you would know that when you start integrating databases, it can get kind of complicated and hard for you and difficult for you. So if you're an absolute beginner, then my advice is to not start with the database. So let's ask ChatGPT for that. Can you give me the list of projects without integrating a database? The reason why I'm asking ChatGPT to not give me a database is because if you integrate a database, then the thing is, if you're an absolute beginner, then I am assuming that you must not have much knowledge about AWS's interface in general, and you must not have worked with any service to begin with. So when you are integrating a database, even if you go through documentations, there are certain things that you will have to fix on your own. And if you have absolutely no idea about the interface, no idea about the services whatsoever, then how can you fix the errors? That's why I'm saying don't use a database if you're a complete beginner. But if you have some experience, then you can go with databases. Okay, so we still have static web hosting, personal serverless hello, and simple send notification. Image resizer, we have serverless. Okay, let's try doing this one, serverless URL shortener. Now the next prompt that we have is let's build a project. So copy that, paste it here. Now let's build your project name. Why did I write name? It's not supposed to be that. It's name. Okay, let me save that. All right, it's name. Okay, so guide me through the step-by-step configuration. You have to say this step-by-step through every minute configuration, because sometimes ChatGPT has a tendency to just omit certain changes and it would just assume that you know it. And then once you start configuring it in the AWS interface, you would actually get confused. So that's why I have written that step-by-step, guide me through every minute configuration. Also make sure to give names of whatever services we are going to be creating with the AWS service. Now this is the important part. Also tell me why and how we'll be using these AWS services here. It's very crucial for you to understand why you are using a certain AWS service, because the ultimate goal of me to be helping you build these projects is why and when to use an AWS service. So we'll ask ChatGPT so that you can get a better understanding about it. You can select any of these projects from here. I think I selected this one. Serverless, no, not this one. Serverless URL Shortener. There are 3 services we'll be using: Lambda, API Gateway, and S3. Okay, so replace this with the project that you have choose, and there we go. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, so without using a database, let's build a step-by-step. Okay, so a serverless URL shortener is pretty much self-explanatory, the name, but still, a user submits a long URL. AWS Lambda generates a short URL and stores it in an S3 file. So when someone visits the short URL, Lambda redirects them to the original URL. API Gateway handles the API request for shortening and redirection. Okay, that is a lot of work. Let's see how and if we can get this done. AWS Lambda it runs a serverless backend, handles URL shortening and redirection. Okay, so AWS Lambda runs a serverless backend. S3 stores the mapping of short URLs to long URLs in a JSON file. Okay. API Gateway exposes IAM, and CloudFront is also there now. IAM manages, oh yeah, we need permissions obviously. CloudFront is optional, speeds up. Okay, we're not making a global application, so I don't think we need CloudFront as of now. Let's take an S3 bucket first. S3 bucket. Then what? Go to the AWS S3 console, create a bucket, set the bucket name serverless. Okay. Create a bucket. Now one thing you need to make sure is that bucket name should be unique globally, not just for you, for everybody. It should be a unique name that nobody has ever chosen before. So I'll just put a couple of numbers so that it becomes that. I don't think uncheck block or public access will restrict access via uncheck block or public access. Uncheck block or public access. Okay. We'll create the bucket. Fine if you say so. Create bucket. Okay, I acknowledge that. Okay, fine, that's okay. Next what? Create a JSON file. Since we're not using databases, we'll store the URL in the JSON file. Create a JSON file urls.json with an empty object. I'll need to create just this. Okay. I'm not quite sure where this is going, but what was the name of this thing? urls.json. Okay. Now you're a JSON file. Upload it to the serverless URL shortener. Upload it here. Let's upload. Upload. Add file. Okay. There's my URLs file. Nothing else, right? Yeah. Upload it. That's it. Okay. Let's just upload it. It's uploading. Create an AWS Lambda function. Okay. Let's create an AWS Lambda function. Function name is URL Shortener function. Copy that. Author from scratch. What's the runtime? Runtime is Python 3.9. Okay, I'll keep Python 3.9, which is not there. Create a new role with basic Lambda permissions. Okay, let's see. Create. Do we have Lambda? Ah, there. That's it. My role name. Lambda role. I hope that's correct. Grant Lambda access to S3. Update IAM for go to IAM console role. Okay, now we need to go to role. Still creating. Okay, let's wait for this to get created. Okay, it's done. Let's go to IAM. And what? Search for this role. What was the name? Lambda role. Okay. Roles. There it is. Find the role assigned. Click attach policy. Create inline policy. Okay. How do I do policy? Should I do it here? Modify permission. I don't think it's a permission, it's more like a policy. Can I not edit it directly? Ah, attach policy. Oh wait, no, it was not attach policy, it was create inline policy. Yeah, leave. Create inline policy. Now this, see, this is what I'm telling you. Sometimes it gives you stuff and you can only do it if you are actually familiar with AWS's interface. If not, you will get confused. So, okay, next. Now what policy name? URL Shortener S3 policy, and save it. And create it. Okay. Go to Lambda code, paste this code there. Do I need to replace something? Everything is same. Click deploy. Okay. There's the code in Lambda. Paste it here. Deploy. Is it deploying? Yeah. Successfully updated. Next, create API gateway. Create API, HTTP, API, okay. API gateway. HTTP, okay. API name is this one. Next, what is this? Create post endpoint. Create route, method is post. I can't. How do I do this? Configuration routes is optional. Review and create. Oh, routes. I can't. API gateway uses routes to. Okay. Instead, can we use REST API instead of HTTP API, because it's a lot more simpler than this. Okay, let's go back. Let's create a REST API. Where is it? Build. Okay, URL shortener. That's it. See, I told you this is much more easier. Step 2. Create the shorten URL endpoint. In the API gateway, create resource, shorten. Okay. We need to create a resource. Create resource. This one. Do I need to allow course? I don't think so. But let's do it anyways. Actions, create method, select post. Okay. Actions, where is actions? What am I supposed to do? Oh, I need to create a method, okay.
a post method, integration type lambda function. Okay, integration type lambda function, and I'm checking in this thing also. Create method, click save and then okay. Click create the redirected endpoint. Actions, create resource, we already did. Short code. Okay, I need to create another resource as well. Okay, is it supposed to be like, no, it's supposed to be like this. Click actions, create method, get. In here I need to create a method get, and integration type and everything. Lambda function is, there's only one lambda function, redirect function. Did we create a redirect function? I didn't see though. It's only URL shortener. There is no redirect function. Oh, it is there. There is a redirect one also. Okay, wait. We need to create another one, which is redirect function. Python. Do we need any role? Create another lambda function. I suppose they're not talking anything about the roles and stuff, so create function. Let's wait for it to get created. Yeah. We have the code. Let's paste it here. Deploy. It's deployed. Okay. Okay. We were here when we are supposed to create a method, a get method, lambda proxy integration. Now we should have a redirect one also. Create method. Now what? Click save and then okay. Actions, deploy API, deployment stages prod. Okay. Deploy API, it should be prod, deploy. Copy the invoke URL which looks like this. Shortener URL, post/shortener. What am I supposed to do? Redirect a short URL. I didn't understand what this is happening. Send a post request. Acha. Okay, got it. That's our invoke URL. So I need to, okay, let's open Postman for this. I need to send a post request to this and hope it shortens the link. Okay, we need some link also, right? We'll take GitHub link. Let me create a new one. We're gonna make a post request to this link. It should be /shorten, okay? And the body should include a URL, and we should get a shorted URL. Okay, let's see. So I will take this and put it here. It's okay. Now let's see. And we're getting bad gateway. Let's see what went wrong. The dreaded internal server error. Something broke, but I'm not telling you why. Yeah, it is very annoying. Something broke, but I'm not going to tell you why. Don't worry, let's fix it. Okay, check the CloudWatch. This is what I was trying to tell you. If something goes wrong, CloudWatch is your buddy. Now let's hope that CloudWatch has saved our logs. CloudWatch automatically saves logs sometimes. So let's hope that it has done it so that we'll know what went wrong. Missing permission for S3. If the error is access denied, you forgot to give Lambda serverless URL shortener. It is there. I don't think we gave this. We didn't give this permission. Let's see. Log groups. Yes, it is there. Okay, thank God it's there. Let's take that and I don't know what failed, but let's just copy the whole thing, paste it here. Now tell me what's wrong. Your issue. The S3 bucket does not exist. Oh, wait. I know, we changed the name of the S3 bucket. God, and we didn't upload it. We didn't change it. Yes, we must have used it here somewhere. Serverless URL, not this one. That's the name of my bucket. There. That's the issue. It's still referencing, but your actual bucket is this one, serverless URL shortener bucket. Which function is referencing to that? There. Let's update it there. We have another Lambda function. Let's just take that one also. That was, okay, this one. We have deployed it? Okay. You are also referencing the same bucket. There you go. Okay, let's deploy it. Nothing else, right? Okay, let's see. Again. Nope, still not working. Let's go back and see now what's wrong. Let me just copy paste this. Still we're not getting it. I don't know why I checked this. Bucket does exist. Click the region. Why are you creating so much problem, bucket? It's the same thing. Hard code to bucket name for debugging. Modify your Lambda function to print the bucket name before calling S3. Oh yeah, good job. Which one is this? Shortener. Okay. Hard code. Which Lambda function am I supposed to change? You're supposed to change the URL shortener. Okay. This one. Okay. Now I know what's wrong. IAM role policy problem. Where is IAM role? Lambda role. Okay, I'll have to open it. Add permission, attach policy. It will be S3 full access, which we didn't give. Add permission. Okay. Send it again. Still not working. Now we have the permission issue. The error is clear. Okay. I am yes, S3 read only access. I have to redeploy it again. Okay. I did attach it, S3 full access. Okay, I'll just redeploy it again, both of them. Deploy it. Are you not deploying? No changes to deploy. No changes to deploy. It's not deploying. Okay. I don't think we got the response. Were we not supposed to get a response? I just got this. but you're getting yeah, why? Obviously it's empty. Check the file. Let's go see. Can I open this? No. How do I oh, it's empty. You can add a sample. Why do I need to do this? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's re-upload this file. Can I edit this here? I'll have to re-upload it. But why? Update your Lambda function to log the retrieved data from S3 and the should my urls.json file contain data? What am I doing? Contain data. Isn't it supposed to store the shortened URL on its own? You're absolutely right. Okay, fine. Initial state should be this. Checks the Lambda function receives a URL. It checks file in the S3, retrieves any existing URL. It generates a shortened version. Okay. Is empty. It will work as long as the function is designed to start with an empty object. Make sure your Lambda function is properly updating. Which Lambda function is this? URL shortener. Okay, so this is your URL shortener. Let's update it again. Deploy. Okay, now let's try to send it. Starting indices must be integers, not strings. Okay, that's a very weird thing to get. Okay. Finally, we have our shortened URL and hopefully it should be updated in the S3 bucket as well. Let's go, let me just reload it and then let's go check it out. Open it. Oh, you saved it? Okay, that's also not bad. All right, there you go. And apparently in the beginning, let's go to the start. Okay, so in the testing part, ChatGPT had said that send a post request and we should get this response, and if we open this we should get redirected to that. Okay, so now if I try to copy this URL, apparently if I open this, I'm supposed to be redirected to this, right? So according to you, if I open this shortened URL, I should be redirected to the original URL. Open the shortened URL in Google Chrome. Let me add that also. Okay, let's see. Where is it? Good catch. While the code is generating, it doesn't actually handle the redirect part. We've only covered the process of generating and storing, but we haven't set up any actual redirection logic. Okay. You'll need to create another API gateway Okay, so right now, if I just, so as of now, if I just give any URL, it will get shortened, but it won't be able to, I mean, okay, fine, won't be able to do it. So we'll need to configure another API Lambda for this. So as of now, if we give it any particular code, say if I give it this particular prompt, it will give me the shortened version. Now you have the code over here for how to implement the redirect logic as well. And I would leave it up to you guys to implement the redirect logic. Meanwhile, I will share this whole chat with you guys. Is it exported? I'll upload it to my GitHub page so that you guys can take it from there. There it is. Download data export. I suppose that should be here. I will upload this file to my GitHub and you guys can access it from there. Now additionally, there are a couple more prompts that we were missing. We've done the second one, and let's look at our last prompt. Now that I have a thorough knowledge of the basic AWS services, let's move on to the more advanced sections of AWS. Tell me about the advanced projects that I can build using AWS Cloud. Similarly, the same way as you did with your AWS basic projects, you can still go around and make advanced projects as well. And here we have a bunch of them: scalable real-time data processing, Kindness plus Lambda, Route 53 S3 EC2, SageMaker again, Lambda API gateway, and also try integrating databases here. And the most important thing I would ask you guys to do is document your every step. So right now we made the application, but I didn't document it. But I would highly recommend you guys to document it. Like every single time you're like, okay, I had to attach this particular policy, I forgot about it, or I updated the bucket name, but I forgot to change it later. If you kind of document it, or even if you write it down using a pen and paper, it would actually help you a lot with your brain processing, with your understanding. It will largely benefit you. So please try incorporating that. And similarly, we have a bunch of other project ideas that you guys can do. And I'll just add this one also to the advanced projects. Oh no, I don't have to share this. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll export this one also. I'll just export the whole thing together. Confirm export. And I should get another email. Yeah. I'll download that. Go to the folder. I don't want this one or this one. Not this one. I'll extract it here. Okay, I need to convert this HTML document to PDF. I'll convert this file. Download it and upload a file here. There. Let me see how that looks. Okay, so you get the entire chat over here. I've uploaded this on GitHub and you can take it from there. All right. Now that was it for the hands-on part.
Keep in mind that although building projects is extremely crucial for your understanding of the services, when it comes to landing jobs, the important concepts becomes, why are you using a certain AWS service? Like, why did we use SNS? Why did we use S3? Or why did we not use EBS, etc.? In the real world, employers are looking for someone who can think critically about cloud infrastructure and solve real-world problems by using the right AWS services. Or in other words, while projects are extremely helpful, knowing when and where to use a particular AWS service is what is going to get you hired. So, after you feel comfortable enough with AWS, try building projects on your own. You can ask ChatGPT for ideas and even debug your errors along the way, but try to design the architecture on your own. Additionally, as a cloud engineer, you'll also be expected to automate app deployments. So get yourself familiar with the CI/CD pipeline, with AWS Cloud Formation and Code Pipeline. Alternatively, you can even go for Terraform and Jenkins as well. If this got a little overwhelming for you, remember that 80% of the outcomes result from the 20% of efforts. Also, in case you forgot, the prompts along with this conversation that we had with ChatGPT will be available on my GitHub. So make sure to check that out as well. And with that, we reach the end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.